While social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, remains suspended and unavailable to a reported 40 million people in Brazil. Earlier this week, the South American country's Supreme Court upheld a judge's decision to block X nationwide. The ban is expected to remain in place until the social media giant complies with a court order and pays fines of more than $3 million. The disagreement began amid claims by a judge in Brazil that X is home to misinformation. Ex-owner Elon Musk fought back, saying the platform is dedicated to free speech. And joining us now to talk more about this and the impact on free speech, let's bring in Adam Candu, professor of law and director of the Intellectual Property Information and Communications Law program at Michigan State University. Professor, good to be with you today. Your thoughts on Brazil's decision to shut down X. It certainly isn't the first country to do so. Russia, China, and North Korea have all banned access to the social media giant. But unlike those other countries, Brazil is considered a democracy.
That's right. You don't want to become a member of the club of countries that is banning X. It pretty much shows what sort of country you are, which is a tyranny, a country that is opposed to free speech, a country that doesn't want its citizens to express themselves and hear a diversity of viewpoints. And unfortunately, Brazil now has more in common with North Korea than, I'm afraid, with America.
Yeah, according to a Wall Street Journal report, Professor, Brazil's president stated that, quote, the world is not obliged to put up with Musk's far-right ideology just because he is rich. And that he also said that Brazil should be an example to the rest of the world on how to deal with Elon Musk. Who determines whether one's ideology is considered far-right or far-left? And isn't free speech allowed and even encouraged in a democracy?
Well, you can't have a democracy without free speech. And I think it's very telling and significant that the Brazilian government, specifically the Brazilian judges, seem to be upset mostly with right-wing disinformation, with views and opinions coming from individuals who are political opponents. It's the pattern of all people of all tyrants who oppose free speech. Well, we have to protect safety, disinformation, and I'm the one who's going to define what disinformation is. I'm going to determine how safe, if that's the word to use, people must be. I think it's very telling that, look at the other countries that have banned Twitter. They're all countries that no one would consider as protecting free speech or human rights, and Brazil is now one of them.
Yeah, and the judge who issued X's suspension gave a speech and said in part that those who violate democracy, who violate fundamental rights, whether in person or through social media, must be held accountable. How exactly did Musk and his platform violate democracy?
Well, he refused to deplatform individuals for expressing political views that were unfavorable of the government. It was an incredibly brave thing to do. It was an incredibly principled thing to do. And he was ordered by the Brazilian government to do that, and he refused. I would say, just to make people more upset and underscore the moment in which we live, the EU, Mr. Thierry Breton, who's a high-level bureaucrat in the European Union, is pretty much asking Elon Musk to do the same thing. But they're not as far along in the legal proceedings. But in Brazil, that's what they asked them. And Elon said, no, I'm not going to kick these people off because they're following Twitter rules. They're not abusing our principles. They are expressing their point of views in a reasonable and fair way. And when he refused, then they got a court order to kick out Twitter from their country. And, they have fines if you access it through a VPN or something like that. So, it really is a temper tantrum by a government that does not respect free speech and human rights.
Yeah, Professor, before I let you go, do you think there's any chance that X will be restored in Brazil?
I think they need a new government for that. And I also would hope that our government would do something about this. This is the sort of thing that I think in a different sort of administration, the Brazilian ambassador would be summoned and would be asked, what's going on? Are you on the side, Brazil, of human rights, of free speech, of democracy, or are you doing something else? And I think it's important, not just for Americans, but everyone worldwide, that we can have a free exchange of ideas.
Well, Professor Kendi, thank you so much for coming on and for all your insights. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It was an honor.